and hello, everybody. Good afternoon. It's nice to see some names on here and some faces that I have talked to by email, but or maybe saw you back in October, but it's nice to be invited today, so thank you. My name is Julie Kramer. I am part of the ANAC finance team, and Nick here invited me today just to do a little refresher on some important chapter reports that are required from each chapter and just give a little bit of background on that. And of course, I can take some questions too, but I'll just dive right into that. Of course, as a 501c3 nonprofit, ANAC as a national corporation is required to do a tax return. And that's called a Form 990. We do that every calendar year. So the structure of how the chapters are right now, a lot of your individual chapters function with your own EIN number, which is that employer number. So ANAC National has their own number. Your chapter might have another number. Any nonprofit that has a number like that needs to file a tax return every year. But of course, that's a bigger deal for ANAC. We deal in bigger amounts of money, more expenses, more revenue. A chapter might not be doing that much activity. And so really that could end up being more of a burden on the chapters. And that's part of the feedback we've gotten over the years was that can be a burden as far as time and even expense. So what is great about the structure of ANAC with the chapters, they are considered subordinate organizations to the national organization. So we have the ability to take all of the chapters and combine those financial obligations into one tax return and do that for you on your behalf. And that's what we have been doing for a number of years. And we already have that relationship established with a tax professional. So we have it's not something that your chapter needs to be burdened by. You can be doing what you need to be doing in your community and not doing this paperwork in the back end. So that brings me to why it's important that you do your chapter reports, really. And those, namely the treasurer's report is the report that I'm referring to, which is basically keeping track of what your chapter is doing, what kind of dues or grants or donations you're bringing in, what kind of money is going out for the calendar year. So I know Linda, I believe, has a great template that we can offer you and some materials like that to help you keep up with that information throughout the year. It might be something as simple as, a spreadsheet on someone's computer. But really the important thing is that you need to be able to account for those transactions that happen with the bank account that your chapter is using throughout the year. And you need to be able to provide that to us so that we can combine that all and do that tax return in a timely fashion. So let's see, what are you required to do as, say, your chapter treasurer, which is likely the person who this falls to. If you don't have a chapter treasurer, you might, it might be just one person, but who's ever responsible for the finances in your chapter. We need a bank statement with the beginning balance from January 1st. We need a bank statement from the end of the year at December 31st. And we need something that talks about what those monies coming in and going out were for. Maybe some backup, if there was an invoice that was paid or if there was a check that you cashed, that kind of thing. So I'll do a little plug here for the centralized chapter banking initiative that we are getting off the ground here. We've been working on that at ANAC National for the last year, getting a relationship established with a national bank so that we can make it a little easier for the chapters to get their own bank account, have it linked to ANAC National in a way where we can help with this, everything I've just talked about, the bank statements, keeping track of the transactions. Again, trying to make it easier on you guys so that we can do more of this boring paperwork for you. As far as due dates, this is January 31st is a due date for the previous calendar year. So that's when we need this information from you. So hopefully that can be on your chapter's agenda for one of your final meetings at the end of the year or the very first meeting at the beginning of the year. And once you get that all prepared, that's something that will turn in. I think right now Linda's accepting those, but someone over here at ANAC National or myself and the finance team will be compiling all of that. And so we'll take that from you when you got that prepared. I know there was a little bit more information on the website under members and chapter resources, so some things like that to help, but that's an overview of why it's important and why we really appreciate that you put some effort into keeping track of those things. And again, like what we're trying to do from National is to empower you and make it a little bit easier for you. So we're always open to hear what the challenges are in this area, or how, you know, we can kind of model this program with the chapter banking to suit you guys. So.
Julie, this is Jim. I have a question. So I remember working with you at great lengths for Palm Springs, and maybe this is something we can consider talking about and expressing more during conference. I always think that there's a wonderful opportunity to engage our members and our chapter leaders at conference, not necessarily in a breakout, you know, even in the exhibit hall. If there's an opportunity for, you know, we can select certain chapter leaders or members of the chapters committee or the treasurers from certain chapters can man a table or be at the ANAC table to walk around or answer questions and encourage people to use centralized banking. Because I know a lot of chapters did what I used to do. They have a cup in the kitchen and that's what they do. And, you know, that's what I did for a year until we were able to get, you know, Wells Fargo on board. But, you know, there's a lot of chapters who don't have that income and people going back and forth like others. Like Ohio might have a lot of support and have their own bank, or maybe they don't and they weren't aware of centralized banking. So at conference, we can talk about that and get more people to come to you if that's an opportunity.
Right. And we're still, I will still say that we are learning with this initiative as we go. So it's still kind of a baby. It's in its infancy right now. We're trying to understand how best we can structure what we're doing to make it an easy interaction with you as far as what the information we need when we're helping with those accounts. So currently right now we have 2 chapters that have accounts open. And so we will, I mean, that I think will grow, you know, and as we have the ability to, I guess, maybe streamline or understand better exactly what we need to get from you to get the bank account open and that kind of thing. So I'm not sure how far we think it will be from here now till conference at that point, but I will be there. I was there last year for my first conference, which was really an amazing opportunity, but I will be back again this year. And I mean, that's definitely something to talk about because it is, I mean, I know it's, I mean, I think so far my impression is that it's been very well received and it's a very welcome service. So getting the word out there will be good at the right pace, I guess.
Lucia, you have a question?
Okay, it's Lucia. Hi. Yeah, my question is this available to all chapters now? Because it was originally was just open to a couple for, you know, to tweak out all the problems. Is it now available to all chapters?
So yeah, so we are, I think, ready to kind of move into our next like second round of chapters that might want to pursue it. There are, for any chapter that is interested, I would definitely invite you to send us an email over at the finance team, which is just finance@anacnet.org, or talk to Nikira, talk to Linda. For any chapter that does want to pursue it, we need 1 to 2 people who will be signatories on the account and who are willing to provide some identifying information to open the bank account. So you need to provide ID, social security number, that kind of thing. So if you have somebody that's comfortable with that and you really think that this could be a good service for you, I think we are ready to review a few more chapters and, start our next round. I don't want to say that we're ready to just open it wide open and say that we could do everybody that comes along, but if your chapter is interested, then we'd definitely love to talk about it. Hey, Evelyn, I see Evelyn's hand.
Yes, hi, greetings everyone from Houston Gulf Coast chapter. We are one of the pilot programs for this financial endeavor. And one of the things, well, a couple of things that have quickly come to light that we know we'll have to address as a chapter is first, our dues collection schedule. In our bylaws, we have ourselves on a calendar year, and nationally, it's on a rolling 12. So as our members join and we get these wonderful updated reports monthly on who our members are, there's a disconnect with, when do they have to pay the local? When do they have to pay the nationals? Different things like that. So we're working through that as a chapter. And then secondly, you want to make sure that when the report comes from Linda, and I know, Linda, we're working on that with you, along the lines of helping to streamline communication to our members on when things are due and try to differentiate between local and nationals. That's been our little glitch right now that we're working through. So we'll be happy to report because I'm sure we'll get that all straightened out.
And I think we have time for one more question. I think I see one in the chat from Zyra. Would this be connected to something like PayPal for dues collection?
Yes. So the bank accounts this is through JP Morgan Chase Bank, which is a national bank, hopefully has a branch near all of you, somewhere convenient. So it is a business checking account. So for things like PayPal, you could update that bank in your PayPal account and route those funds to deposit into this new bank account and then have access that way. The chapter bank accounts also come with, the opportunity to use something like Zelle. If you like to do that, a mobile app, of course, so that you could do mobile check deposits, say if you get dues by check. Or we also, and we haven't done this yet a lot, but we are offering this to the chapters who we do have on board, is using systems that we have in place for an ANAC National to do check payments or direct bank payments for any vendors you might pay. Say you pay a speaker to come or you rent a room for your meeting. We want to have that ability too, so that you don't need to worry about that, but we could route that through some systems that we already have, and then you don't have to be burdened with the cost of another system.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Julie. We appreciate you spending some time with us today. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording. There we go. I'm going to turn it over to Julie.
Thanks, Nakira.